Hey guys, welcome back to Contest Prep University. I'm Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson. We are in episode 3 on the series regarding metabolic positioning. And Adam, we talked last time about blood sugar being that first place our body gets energy. So if I'm trying to lose body fat, day one on my diet, calorie restriction in between meals, because my body's always going to use what's in that meal first. I'm now getting into the blood sugar process. I'm using blood lipids, but very quickly, there's just not enough. And so I need a secondary source. And even though we want it to be body fat, which we will eventually get to, dominantly, the body's going to start using stored carbohydrates from other places. And the quickest, most accessible place is liver glycogen. So the blood, of course, is circulating through the body every 4 minutes or so. It's going through the liver, and there's so much reading and interpreting of what's happening in the bloodstream is because of the connection between the brain and the liver and what's happening there. So as the brain is getting the signal that blood sugar is too low, then again, like you said, the pancreas starts producing the hormone glucagon instead of insulin. And then we end up retrieving energy. So the liver can now dump its own stored carbohydrate right into the bloodstream. So why is that important as a secondary step?
Yeah, because you have to lower that liver glycogen to get to that next metabolic position, which we're going to talk about. But I think it's also important for people to know that the liver doesn't have a huge storage of glycogen, about 100 grams, and each one of those grams holds 3 to 4 grams of water. So 100 grams of glycogen in the liver can actually account for a decent amount of weight. So as we're looking at clients' charts, we're looking for kind of that liver and that muscle glycogen loss, which we're going to talk about next. But you can usually see that depletion of glycogen because of your body releasing it through the hepatic portal in the bloodstream.
And so what's going to happen, and I just had a conversation with a client about this, that first week of dieting, as your body's transitioning, as you mentioned, you're going to see some weight loss because you're using stored carbohydrate. You're not replacing it entirely. So there's some extra water loss. And I think we've all experienced that when, you're running to the bathroom all day and you just know, like, wait a second, I've only had half a gallon of water. It seems like I've urinated out like 2 gallons. And you may have, and you no longer have that stored glycogen. But we need to get through some of that, more of it, so that we can use body fat as a higher percent of energy. And the reason the liver is important as this intermediary between your bloodstream and body fat is that is your second by second dosing for important usage. So if you just got down to a very low level of blood sugar and we didn't have that liver glycogen to use, or even some muscle glycogen that can contribute, then you're going to be toast. You're going to die. And so this is evolution's way of saying, okay, this is now what you can use in between. And as I mentioned in the first episode, it's not just like flipping one switch and then going to another. These things are all happening at the same time, but at greater percentages. So here's what I would love to hear you address, Adam. Let's say, well, meal timing doesn't matter. Macros don't matter. Maybe it's just the amount of food for the week. So I eat intuitively. So today my carbs were here. Then all of a sudden the next day I had 200 grams more and this and that. And I just kind of, maybe I feed a little bit more on workout days and all that. So what happens if our carbohydrates are just all over the place?
Yeah, your weight's going to be really all over the place because you're having that water gain due to storage of liver glycogen and muscle glycogen.
And also, if we're storing more glycogen, that means we're not retrieving more glycogen, and that blocks us from the next metabolic position, which would be using more body fat. So, we also have the muscle glycogen to get through, which we'll talk about in the next episode. But these are sequential steps. And even though I keep cautioning you to not think of it as just like silos or gas tanks, or one's empty, then we can go to the next one. It's a gradual transition, but it's still a profound transition. So you guys stay tuned. Adam and I are going to tackle muscle glycogen next, which will be the third storage area. And we'll see you next time in Contest Prep University.